Hello, Melissa Crook here. It's another Empowerment Tuesday here at the Feel Podcast. It is July 7th here in the United States. It's post our big holiday weekend, just coming off of America 250. And it was a heat wave across much of the nation east of the Mississippi. I live on the West Coast, so was a little more comfortable, and I don't have to deal with the humidity here, which I'm very happy to say because I've lived in places where I've dealt with the humidity. So hats off to all of you who have been navigating this. But the conversation today leans right into it, summer body expectations, because if you have been outside the last couple of weeks, it's most likely been by or in the water because otherwise it was just too hot to be out there. And this should be a time of fun and joy and splashing around and enjoying the sun and the water and the friends and the relaxation and all those things that we think about nostalgically when we think of summer. But then you add in the continual ongoing societal narrative of summer body expectations. This is not a new topic here on the Field podcast or the Embracing Layers Network. We've talked about it multiple times with multiple friends. Our first initial summer body expectations blog was done in season 2 by our writer, Jessica Garrison. And she actually came to me and she's like, I know we're done recording episodes this season, but I'd really like to write a blog about this. This is a real thing that women of all age and men too, humans deal with. And I think, it's a good time to discuss it. And I'm like, absolutely. And you know what? We're going to follow it up with a conversation later on in the wintertime where we're going to talk about all forms of beauty privilege. But the summer body expectations and it falls into that category, but it's at almost another level. And so today I wanted to bring it back to the surface. Mostly, I'm going to refer you a lot to resources we've already created. Our friends, Rachel Lavin, Kim Mosman, Amy Donovan, my new friend, Jana Weston, have all joined us multiple times, along with my own staff, Jessica Garrison and Charlotte Vehan, and former staff member, Michaela Shirley, have all weighed on our podcast, on our panel shows, and on our former radio show over the years about people commenting on people's bodies, people having opinions about other people's bodies. And our firm stance here at the Embracing Layers Network is we want you to embrace all of your layers, all the parts and pieces of you that make you who you are. We want to bring you home to yourself, to value those pieces and parts, the reality that none of us are perfect, that we are so entrenched in knowing who we are, identifying what we care about, describing ourselves by our character traits, and living from that place of acknowledgement and self-content that we're not worried about other people's opinions. We know they're out there, but they don't take us out of our own value system of living truly and unapologetically from who we are. We let people be to deal with their own stories and reasons why they feel like they need to comment or think or say certain things, and we don't let that dissuade us. But that requires a lot of ongoing work. I've done a lot of work. I still struggle with the summer body expectations because of my own story and things that I've been hearing ever since I was a little girl about my body and what it should look like. And the idea around this whole idea is that's so kind of insane to me is that those pictures and those things that are posted and these unrealistic expectations that are put out there, so many of the things we see in magazines, on social media, are airbrushed and edited. I mean, we're still not actually seeing, so that we're giving a picture to live by that's not even actually a real picture. And for those women that do have those bodies, they have their own stories within that. I mean, there's no one right or wrong body. There is the body that is yours. There's the body you were given to live your life in and to breathe in and to show up in as your authentic self every day. And all of those should be embraced and loved and valued. We just did a panel a couple of weeks ago, and all of these things are going to be linked in our show notes. A past blog and radio show are linked in our blog. So go to our blog on Substack that Jessica dropped yesterday. On our Substack, it's also promoted on our socials. You can access the blog there and also the past radio show. If you're a paid subscriber on Substack, you can listen to that. It's 6 hours of rich content on this topic, as well as the discussion that we had on beauty privilege in season 3, which is our number 1 episode from season 3, by the way. So we're referring you to a lot of content we've already created about it, but I just felt it was necessary to bring it back to the top of the conversation and refer back to that panel show we just did a few weeks ago, where we're like, no more commenting on other people's bodies. We don't want people commenting on our bodies. We should not be commenting on other people's bodies. If you do want people commenting on your body, I'm going to ask you, it's nice to receive compliments. It's nice to be told you look nice or whatever. I'm not saying that in itself is a problem, but I think it's important we all get real curious about where that's coming from. Is that coming from a place of health? I'm like, oh, I just appreciate the acknowledgement. Or is that coming from a place of insecurity, or I need that affirmation to know that I'm acceptable and look okay by the societal standard? And that's a tricky line to walk. It's one that I'm 56 years old and I'm still figuring it out. I started hearing comments on my body when I was very little. I had hairy arms and dark hair in my arms. I had that little going through puberty mustache on my face, and I had boys in school commenting on those things. So I was and then, I had family members commenting on my butt size in high school. So I had a lot of things coming from my own story and of what my body was and wasn't supposed to look like, and what was and wasn't appealing to the public eye. And I really think what really brought me home to what it must be like to feel very safe and secure is we took a trip for our 25th wedding anniversary, my husband and I, back in 2018. And we went through 4 countries in Europe that summer. And we were staying on the French Riviera at one point. And we were out on the beach, and it was a resort beach, but it was connected with a beach that was more of a public open beach to the community. And many people know in Europe, it is very customary, normal for women to be topless on the beach along with the men. And there were women of all ages, all backgrounds, all sizes, moms, grandmas, young, middle, all different, skinny, more rounded, muscular, not as messy, everywhere in between, every size, every age, every category, walking around confidently topless. It was hot. They were in the Mediterranean Sea, and they were playing with their kids and their grandkids. They were just moving. No one was commenting. Men were walking around in Speedos of all sizes. There were no comments, or it was just normal. The only people that were taken aback, you could pick out the Americans in the group very quickly on the beach, because they were the only ones taken aback. People from the local area, Europeans, were just like, this is just kind of what we do. This is how we roll. And I was like, wow, what it must be like to be able to feel that freedom of just showing up as you are. This is how I'm comfortable. This is how I go out in the world. And it really helped my perspective on that. I'm like, oh, this is actually possible. Really, you can do that. And so I'm going to read from our blog in a minute that Jessica dropped yesterday, because I think there's some really good information that I want you to hear and share from there. So I am going to read from that. But I want to refer you to the links that I've shared in the show notes, the links that are in the blog, to go back and listen to what so many of our friends here from the network have shared about body expectations, period, all year round. Today we are focusing on summer, because here's the interesting thing that I think is, this isn't just about how skinny you are, or how more rounded or plump you are, or how muscular or not muscular. It's about our skin tone. Oh my gosh, I'm so white. I'm pasty. I'm so pasty. I'm so washed out. All these things we hear. And so then you've got women going to tanning beds and and that's starting to come back. I'm hearing again. I'm like, I thought we figured out this wasn't good for us. Um, Trying to find that right tone of skin color to go out in. We also, we've heard from our friend Michaela who talked about, the hair, it being hairy on her darker hair, not even more hairy, but just darker hair. And, we talk about, oh, they're so dark or they're too dark or they're too light. I mean, all these skin tone things that are racial, that are just biased on what people that feel like they haven't done their own work. I mean, I think you really are you make comments about other people's bodies from a space of insecurity. And my invitation to you on that, when you feel like doing that, is get curious about why you think that is okay for you to do, why that is necessary. Get curious about why it's so bothersome to you that someone else feels comfortable showing up a certain way, rather than releasing that comment, because those comments are unnecessary. They're unkind. No one benefits from them. No, it doesn't change behaviors. It just, so getting curious about that and keeping those thoughts and comments to yourself. For those that struggle, so many times too, what the other comments I hear is like, well, you're skinny enough to wear a bikini. Why don't you do that? Maybe I don't feel comfortable in that. Maybe I want to swim around and I don't want to worry about whether everything's going to stay in place where I want it to stay when I'm moving around. Maybe I just like the way it feels. And so when you're making those decisions about what you're wearing to the beach, what you're wearing to the pool, and if you're going to the beach or pool, what do you feel comfortable in? What makes you feel at home in your body? Not based on what you're hearing from other people, but what makes you feel at home in your body? And do the thing that honors you. And if you feel yourself feeling subconscious, dig into that. Get together with me. We can have conversations. We can go on this field journey together and really help embrace the layers and talk about what's getting in your way and allow you to really live unapologetically. But in those moments in time, when we're packing for vacation or we've been invited to the beach or swimming pool or the river or the lake or wherever it is, we've been invited to go boating. What are you going to feel comfortable in today? What's that thing that is going to help you really relax and feel comfortable in your own skin, and honor that, and honor yourself in it. And it is okay if people feel like they have the right to make a comment on you and anything related to your body. It's okay for you to say, I don't appreciate or accept comments about my body. I really feel like that's personal and that should be kept to yourself. Please don't do that again. That is a boundary that is important for me. And I'm just not going to entertain those comments. So if you want me to continue to participate with you in these activities, please, and think about why you feel like you need to do that. It's okay to be direct. And sometimes we don't want to create a ruckus, or we don't want to create discomfort. Well, if the person felt like they had a right to make a comment about your body, you have a right to respond to that. Or you can simply walk away or decide these people aren't safe. I'm not coming with them anymore. And if it's somebody you don't know and you're never going to see again, then, actually just chalking that up to like, well, they just really haven't done their own work. And I'm not even going to take that in. I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to let it dissuade me from enjoying myself today, wherever it is that I'm doing in this space, wherever it is I'm existing in. So I'm going to share with you from Jessica's blog. And then again, I'm going to refer you to all those links and resources we have of so many of these conversations that are so important. So summer body expectations, building body confidence, setting boundaries, and embracing self-acceptance. We are officially in the swing of summer, and that comes with a lot of sun and fun, but it also comes with insecurity. Summer body expectations have been around for decades, and they are still alive in our culture today. But we continue the conversation as we work towards everyone feeling free and safe in their own body. I do not know a woman who is not self-conscious of her body, even if she has society's version of a perfect body. People will have opinions no matter what you do or look like, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. However, there is a way to deal with it. Become confident in your own skin and defy any expectations someone may have of you. The number one thing to remember is it starts with yourself. Do not comment on other people's bodies. I'm going to stop there for a minute. I'm going to go away from the blog for a minute. Even if you think it's a compliment. Oh, what long legs you have. Oh, that suit, really accentuates your curves. Whatever it is, just say, "Hey, how are you doing today? I'm so glad you're here." If you think their suit is cute, where'd you get that suit? It's really cute. But in terms of their bodies themselves, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Even if you think you're being complimentary towards them, back to the blog, you don't know what their internal struggle may be. A friend of mine recently lost weight, and everyone has been commenting on it to the point where she didn't want to go see people and have to explain yet again why she's lost weight. I want to stop there again. I think this is really important to talk about because we assume when people have lost weight, unless they eat it must have been in a healthy way, or if they've lost weight when they were already really thin, that they must have done something wrong or doing something, or they're not eating enough, or, we make terrible comments like, oh, they look so, this way or that way. And we use, body, language that just isn't appropriate. That's really, really off-putting. And we need to remember, you don't know what their story is. Are they dealing with some kind of an illness? Are they dealing with some kind of autoimmune situation? Are they dealing with some kind of disease or sickness that you don't know about? Have they gone through a really difficult time? And there's a stress-induced thing happening here. Just don't make assumptions about it. If you genuinely, and we're going to go into this in the blog, but if you genuinely care about them, say, "Hey, how are you doing? How have you been feeling? How's everything going?" Instead of making it about what their body looks like. If you are concerned for someone, then there is a way to approach it without judgment and not in a public setting where they could feel shame. So many times people want to go out in specific clothes or a certain setting, like a swimming pool, in fear of the judgment, stares, or comments they're going to get. Again, you can't stop them, but you can let it go in one ear and out the other. Set your boundaries, live out of your own expectations, and take care of all aspects of yourself. There's another statement, and this is from Jessica, I have to make, and even though it's simple, it's necessary. It is summer. It is hot outside. If men can be shirtless, then women should be able to go out in whatever they want. She is not asking for anything other than to be comfortable. Men do not sacrifice their comfort in clothing, so neither should we. We see men of all sizes and shapes out shirtless all the time in the summertime. In times like this, I don't typically wear a bra, and so many people feel the need to share their opinion with me. I am not looking for attention or for someone to comment on my chest. I just want to feel comfortable in the sun and the heat and the humidity, and if someone has a problem with it, they can avert their eyes. Put yourself and your health first, then forget the rest. It's easier said than done, but the more that you practice, the easier it will become. And then she refers to the many episodes and blogs and conversations we've had across our platform on this topic over the last 3 to 4 years, especially. So, in closing, I want to go over a few things here. Let me see. Sorry, give me a minute here. I'll get back to my right notes. Remember, body image, it doesn't just affect the physical, how we feel about ourselves physically. It impacts our mental and emotional health. Be kind to ourselves and be kind to others. And before commenting, is that something you'd want someone to say to you? The answer is no. No. If you think it's a compliment, even if it sounds, keep it not about their bodies. Oh, that's such a cute cover up. That's such a swimsuit cover ups that we wear to the beach. That's such a cute swimsuit. I love your flip flops. Keep it about those things. Where did you get that sun hat? Because again, the summer body expectations is so fully nuanced. There are so many different ways that it comes up that people feel self-conscious. Oh my gosh, I have to wear all this covering because there's skin cancer in my family. What are people going to say? Oh, I'm super tall. What are people going to say? I'm super short. What are people going to say? My legs are like this. My butt's like that. I mean, there's so many things that go through our body when we look in the mirror. So come back to home, remind yourself of all the ways your body shows up for you. Remind yourself that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. Remind yourself that your body is no one else's business, and go out and celebrate how you feel comfortable and what's honoring to your health and your well-being. It's okay to remove yourself from spaces that don't feel safe. But also too, sometimes we use that as an excuse. So maybe sometimes is that a truth or is that a narrative that I've told myself? Has anyone in this group ever commented or said anything about my body or other people's bodies that makes me feel like this isn't a safe place? And if the answer to that is yes, it's okay with them to be honest about it. They may not realize. It's like, you've made the comments you make me not feel very safe or secure in this space. And it might be a wake-up call to them that like, oh gosh, that wasn't my intention. Maybe I need to be more mindful of the comments I'm making and where is that coming from in me? This all goes back. All these things that come up go back to how we feel about ourselves, the narratives we've heard about our own bodies, the voices that have poured into that. And it's up to us to discern what's untrue and true and operate from a place of truth and kindness and empathy, and what is and isn't our business or place to comment on. Let's let go of society's unrealistic beauty standards. They're unrealistic. No body is perfect, but every body has a purpose and serves that purpose and carries each of us. And let's do it in a way, let's love ourselves well, honor ourselves well, celebrate ourselves well in ways that make us feel comfortable and appreciate all our body does for all of us. Choose comfort over people's opinions. What you feel comfortable in is fine, period. Daily practices for improving, your self-esteem and body acceptance, it comes back to, again, how we feel about ourselves and dismantling the narratives that actually aren't true and that are just based in unrealistic expectations and lack of, and just sometimes ignorance of not doing the own work and the realization of just because you think it's a compliment doesn't mean it's going to be received as a compliment. If it has to do with somebody's body, leave it alone. And if you feel like you need those compliments about your body, get into that. Get curious about that. Does that cross the line into looking for acceptance or affirmation, or is it just refreshing to hear something nice? Get curious about that. Everybody deserves respect, regardless of size, regardless of color or shade, or thinking about there's so many different skin things that happen with our bodies as well that people are self-conscious about, whether it's eczema or psoriasis, whether people are have scars from surgery. Don't ask them about their scar. Let them offer that up to you if they want to, but don't bring attention to that. You're just simple, common sense, kind, empathetic, thoughtful things. And then, remember, always, always, always remember that you are valuable, you are worthy, you get to choose how you show up, honors you, what you feel comfortable in. Give that same respect to others. Take good care of yourselves. Check out all the amazing resources we have on this topic, and we'll see you next time here on the Feel Podcast.